morning from the top of the mountain and the bottom of Peninsula. It's a beautiful fall day. It's warm. It's not quite first crack of dawn, but it's not yet midday. It's already, quite warm, but we've got a lot of shade on the mountain, and I'm going to be okay. I didn't bring an extra shirt today, which I usually do to try to be polite when I go back into town and not look like a sweaty tree hog. But it's a beautiful day, and we're about to get started. You will remember from the last couple of videos, I talked about all of the damage from the typhoon. It's now 3 weeks ago the typhoon hit. And on the road up here this morning, I noticed still there's lots of trees toppled over. There's a few houses that got hit, a couple of roofs got taken off, some walls got shredded, but not so much material damage. But there's trees everywhere. It took down so many trees. There's a part of a mountain. It looks like about when I say mountain, we're in southern Japan, and these are all mountains. I'm from Alberta, Canada, and we have the Rockies, and that's a mountain, and these are little mountains. But anyway, there's about a third of one side of a mountain right in town that just seems to be like kind of just a big hand came down and scraped the trees off of it. And as I come up here, still much the same thing. But as I was mentioning a couple of videos ago, the people who, everybody has to clean up after a typhoon. And last week when I came up on the mountain, there was a small maintenance crew, I guess you'd call them, a small construction company hired out by a local town to come and make sure the roads are passable. And also, they might have been hired by the local electrical utility, TEPCO, because TEPCO's wires were all broken and taken down by falling trees. So anyway, we had this small maintenance crew up here on the mountain last week, and they were right here on this road when I pulled up. So I got to talking with them and introduced myself, got a name card, and called them up last week and had them come up and meet me yesterday. And it was really good. It's a very small crew from a town about 10 kilometers away. And it's a father-son outfit, and they both came up here and met me, and I had my dog with me, and the father, he's probably, 70 years old, and he has a small Chihuahua himself, less than 1 year old, so quite a pup, and he seems to be really endeared to it. So he was very happy to talk about my dog. Anyway, good relationship, good start to a relationship, and I wanted them to come up here and open up a driveway up to a landing zone up there, so that I could kind of finally access the mountain, and maybe when I come here park my truck up on the property instead of here down on the road. So we had a good conversation. They took a lot of measurements. We talked about the dog, we talked about the land, we talked about taking out the dirt and then reusing it to level the land. I don't want them to build anything. I don't want them to bring in tar or gravel or asphalt or anything to make kind of a road and a parking area. Nothing that serious. I just want them to cut and clear and dig and slope. And in my naivete, I think 3 days work maybe. Anyway, we had a really good chat, and they will come back to me, I don't know, probably in a week or so with an estimate. So I'm crossing my fingers. We got some traffic. A Yokohama plate. She's not a local. Or her car's not local anyway. So I came up today again to get started. We have a challenge today to... I'm not gonna anticipate the maintenance guys coming up real quickly. If they do come up, I have to take down about 3 big trees, and that means climbing up, lopping them off at the top to make them less damaging, because when I cut them down, they're probably going to fall on these power lines right here. So I'm not going to jump the gun and get started on that, because that's a really big job. What I am going to do is continue clearing out this area of the underbrush, get as much shrubbery and stuff done today, so that if they do want to come work and want to come work quick, you know, all I've got to do is take down a couple of big trees. I don't really have an option with this. It's such a closed space. I was talking with the construction guys that are going to quote me on clearing or on leveling this, and I told them I don't want them to take it away or garbage it. It's just added expense for me. However, they've got to move it around a little bit, I guess, to add dirt over to this side and level things out. So I'm going to wait for them to bring in the bigger machinery, and get going. For now, most of this area right here is clear, but I've got several saplings up there that I'm going to tackle right now. And then I've got a few more saplings and underbrush here that if I clear it out, it really makes it easy to get to these remaining tall trees. So I think that's my challenge for the next hour or so, getting rid of these little saplings and clearing up this area. Then I think I've got a morning's work done. I can't bring everything up onto the mountain with me, of course. So when little slip-ups like this happen, it's break time. Got to go back down and fix it at the truck. Not only is the chain just a little bit loose, but it's really dull after the last couple of weeks. I haven't sharpened it in 3 weeks of cutting. Okay. That's right. think I mentioned, I know I mentioned that I met a construction worker here who seemed to know the place, and he said this place is all former orange orchards. And that makes a lot of sense because there's working orange orchards just, less than a kilometer away from here. So at some point, I guess, because of the proximity to the ocean, we're only a kilometer from the ocean, and the hot sun and the semi-tropical weather, this probably made a good place for oranges. And I can easily see that foreign imports would at some point, make a manual labor operation less economical. So I suspect that this was an orange orchard built on terraced, a terraced incline, and at some point, people couldn't make a go of it, so they just left it and let it grow out, and that's what I'm fighting with now. I've got an orange tree right here, which unfortunately has to come down. Now, I know, I'm going to get hit for taking down healthy trees, but I haven't explained a lot of it yet, but I've got a big set of plans for tree repopulation. And, I've been growing tree seedlings for 5-6 years now, and I've got basically a farmyard full of tree seedlings, and I'll let you know more about that after a bit. So yes, an orange tree has to come down, but after this place is made beautiful and livable, there's going to be many more trees, and beautiful trees, more than what we've got today. So, with all due respect, Mr. Orange, thank you for your service. We've got a green one right here. Looks like a lime. Here on the ground, we've got a slightly more yellowed one. Let's get into the light here. Yeah, I know. I love looking at healthy, beautiful fruit and nature. You can see that beautiful little soul guy dangling there. But like I said, bless you for your service. I'm going to give your roots a new future. be very careful with a brambly thorn bush. A few pokes from that and you can be done for the day.
So the day ended quite well. We've got a lot of slope left to do, but I managed to get a lot of the brush and troublesome bramble cleared up. I think we're just about ready for some major tree cutting, and then we'll bring in some of the machinery. Hopefully, the contractor will be on board by that time, and we'll pave in a driveway. Not pave in. We'll break in a driveway, and be on our way to accessing the mountain and turning it into something. Thanks very much for watching. Talk again soon.